Today we're going to be talking about a fantastic Finn who plays on the east side, who happens to be named KK, and who scored 2 points yesterday. His name is Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and, wait, that's not right. Yeah, today we're talking about Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Kaapo Kakko, because these two KKs, these two fantastic Finns, went out there with 2 points yesterday and took their fan bases by storm. Now, we're going to be talking about both of these guys because I did like a whole bunch of things in their games, and just the overall storytelling, the narratives behind these performances, I think, are indeed worth talking about over here. So starting off with Kaapo Kakko, because I know Canadiens fans, you're going to be over here. I want you to wait for this one, because it's just kind of funny how Kotkaniemi works out, isn't it? Kaapo Kakko went out there for the New York Rangers with kind of a little bit of a different role than what he was used to. He was played on the top line with Artemi Panarin and Ryan Strome, and he had himself 2 points, as we said, a goal and an assist to kick off his preseason. The first goal that he got a point on was actually the first goal of the year for the Rangers here in the preseason. It was Artemi Panarin deceptively dragging it along the far left half boards, sending it in front for none other than Anthony Bitetto, noted goal scorer and overall league superstar Anthony Bitetto, to swipe it towards the goal, scoring it in the process. Bitetto, of course, he's not really noted for his goal-scoring ability. I was kind of joking. So this was just kind of Artemi Panarin making everybody pay attention to him. He sends it across, Bitetto is there, and Kakko gets the secondary assist. The second goal of the game, where Kaapo Kakko had a point, was Kakko's own goal. It was right off the faceoff in the offensive zone. It gets chipped out in front. Kaapo Kakko was there on the far side to swat it in, and we actually had ourselves a few other notable moments in Kaapo Kakko's game last night. They tried him out on the penalty kill, and it was honestly kind of interesting to see, because when you think about the Rangers and their PK, you never really think Kaapo Kakko. Sure, he's been touted as this defensively responsible Finn with a good body and a physical frame and all that stuff ever since he was drafted, but this is kind of the first time they went out there and actually tried him out in the PK, most likely replacing that Pavel Buchnevich on the wing there. And for the most part, he looked pretty alright. Kaapo Kakko is only 20-something, I think he's only 20 years old, so definitely if they want to mold him into a power play, penalty kill, dual threat, just two-way capable kind of guy, there definitely would be value in bringing his stock up to that level. Sure, he was out there producing points, he had 2 in the game, but if you're still able to get more out of this Kaapo Kakko, you're able to squeeze more value out of the player profile that he provides, then ultimately you're just setting yourself up for greater benefits over here in the long term. And if you want to go out there and say, yeah, you played really well with Artemi Panarin, we're going to try this the rest of the way through. We're going to keep you here, maybe swap you around with Alexis Lafreniere, maybe have a few other guys in that rotation too. Just try to diversify and see what really works best. There is a lot of opportunity here for the New York Rangers to go far, because we do know that when it comes to what Kaapo Kakko is at the NHL level right now, compared to what he was supposed to be stepping out of the Finnish Liga in Turku in 2018-19, he hasn't really been what we thought he was going to be. Just take a look at the point production right here. 23 points in 66 games and 17 points in 48 games in his first 2 NHL seasons as a second overall pick. Sure, it's great seeing the guy playing in the NHL at 18 and 19 years of age, but I'd be lying if I said we were not expecting more. And I know the same thing can definitely be said for Jack Hughes, because he's kind of in a similar boat with the New Jersey Devils, but we've got ourselves a long time to see these guys go out there and prosper in their careers. Kakko and Hughes, of course, plus everybody else from the 2019 NHL Entry Draft. But for Kaapo Kakko, this is a great start. You definitely like to see it, especially since it's very indicative of the way that Gerard Gallant appears to be wanting to run this hockey team. At the end of the day, he was giving Kaapo Kakko the opportunities, he was giving Lafreniere the opportunities out there too, Zibanejad, Kreider, and all that stuff. There indeed was a good amount of faith that I think the Rangers had when they watched this hockey game. Of course, it's one preseason game, so I'm not going to go out there and say that everything is the be-all and end-all because of this, but Kaapo Kakko, man, watch out. Now, before we get over into the other KK, let me tell you a little bit about ExpressVPN. They have a promotion going on right now for viewers of this YouTube channel. If you want yourself 3 free months, go ahead, click the link in the description to figure out how to do that. ExpressVPN is the #1 trusted virtual private network that allows users to securely browse the internet through the use of the best-in-class data encryption technology, also allowing you to bypass geo-restrictions on streaming sites, allowing you to access thousands of new shows from around the world. It works from all your devices, your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your smartphones as well. So click the link in the description, figure out how to get 3 free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. So let's talk about the other KK that actually had himself quite the ball in his hockey team's first preseason game of the season. Jesperi Kotkaniemi of the Carolina Hurricanes went out there with a goal and an assist in what was also a pretty tight win for the Carolina Hurricanes. This one was against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was 3-1, and Kotkaniemi started things off with a power play goal 9 minutes into the first period. This one was a nice passing play by the Hurricanes on the left side. Eventually, it's centered out for KK, the left-handed shot coming down the right side. He comes in, he shoots, and he scores, and the crowd seemingly goes wild. And, I mean, everybody on Twitter goes wild as well, because, hey, Jesperi Kotkaniemi went out there and he actually scored. No way, dude. The $6.1 million offer sheet man went out there with a goal himself. And then just 8 minutes later, you see yourselves Teuvo Teravainen getting a goal on the power play too. This one assisted by Tony DeAngelo of all people, and Kotkaniemi as well. So 2 points for KK in the first period of action here for the Hurricanes, kicking off his tenure with the bunch of jerks. Now, I saw a lot of people going out there saying, wow, look at that, KK's actually performing to the contract. 2 points right away in the first game of preseason action here for KK. And I always have to preface this by saying the same things. Yes, I know it is the preseason. We don't need to go out there and start predicting him to get 164 points because he had 2 points in his very first game here. But if this is indicative of what KK is going to be able to do sometime in the next few games, then it doesn't really project badly on Marc Bergevin. Let's just say that right here. None of this. If Kotkaniemi goes out there and he gets, I don't know, like 50, 55, 60 points on the year, this doesn't reflect poorly on Bergevin. And it's not going to for a while, you know? It's never going to be that way in a realistic setting, because KK, if he does go out there and he performs to this standard in the way that Hurricanes fans were raving about this guy yesterday, the whole year, I don't know if it would be fair to go out there and criticize Marc Bergevin, because nobody saw this out of Kotkaniemi last year, you know? Like, sure, Habs fans had their day cheering about Kotkaniemi, but that was only once every few games. That would happen when he would score a big goal that would cause the Canadiens to win, or when he scored in overtime to send the Canadiens to Game 7 against the Leafs. Kotkaniemi had himself what was a very few select moments in this hockey league so far, where Canadiens fans are like, wow, this is the guy that we drafted 3rd overall. This is the next Barkov tier player right here. And because of this body of work, it would be unfair to go out there and say that at the time the offer sheet was made back in the summer, oh dude, $6.1 million? Yeah, that's totally worth it, you know? It wasn't. It wasn't worth it in the slightest. He was a $2 million player getting this amount of money, and it was a huge amount of money that would go out there and ultimately ruin the Canadiens and their cap structure, because the qualifying offer next season also would be in that range. Sure, Kotkaniemi's no fool for accepting the offer, because, I mean, that's an extraordinarily high amount of money now for a guy who isn't worth it. So it would be only best for him to accept it, which is why the Canadiens were just due with the unfortunate choice of letting him go away for the 1st and the 3rd round picks. He is now in Carolina, and if he performs as a $6.1 million player, then good for him. It's just, it definitely would be a surprise from the perspective of Canadiens fans who have watched this guy in the past few seasons do his thing in the National Hockey League and just never get it together after his first full season in the league. So for KK going out there doing his thing with the Carolina Hurricanes, it's good to see, of course. You love to see a story like this write itself into sand and make some Canadiens fans kind of cynically laugh at themselves and their hockey team, but still. It's one preseason game, we've got a few more to go, and 82 regular games as well. We'll see how KK on the Rangers, Kaapo Kakko, as well as KK on the Hurricanes, Kotkaniemi, are able to go out there and proceed. Talk to me in the comments, did you notice anything about these two fantastic Finns and their gameplay that you would like to talk about? I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.